This review is sponsored by this shirt. It's a complimentary shirt sent by Mortal Rising. You can check out his comic and his Twitter down in the description below. I'm in sound and I saw a goofy movie. It is directed by Kevin Lima, written by Jim Magon. If you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This movie follows Max. He's a teenage kid. He's just a normal teenage kid. He has his life, he has his friends. He's got like his friend PJ, he's like a fat dog guy. And then you got the other guy who's like really into Cheese Whiz. Like he just eats it, consumes it. It's not that good. Cheese Whiz is not that good. Either this movie came out and Cheese Whiz was the bomb, or planned there so people think, oh, I want some Cheese Whiz, I'm gonna try some Cheese Whiz myself. Some sort of sponsorship maybe? I don't know. But Cheese Whiz is not that good. It's only good on the chicken and the biscuit crackers. Personally, that's my favorite use of the Cheese Whiz. But last time I had that combination was 10 years ago. How do you like to consume Cheese Whiz, if at all? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, we got Max. He's trying to impress his crush, Roxanne. And immediately I'm like, both of you guys like each other. As a third party, as an adult, I'm like, okay, I understand these feelings that you guys are having. I've been through them. You guys are clearly into each other. You guys are like doing the body language like, aha! She's like touching her hair because that's what women do. Ah! I'm like bending my hair. Like, it's very obvious. The animators very specifically made a huge point on showing that she was interested in Max as well. But Max not noticing, not understanding, he's like, oh, I don't know if she'll like me. He's like, well, I have to impress her. I don't know if she'll like me. I'm like, jeez, guys. They're adorable. It's a very adorable movie. So, of course, he crashes. I don't remember what they're called. Assemblies? It's been a while since I've been to school. He crashed this assembly where there's like these people performing, and then the principal comes up. And by the way, I was like, who's this principal voiced by? Just while listening to the movie. And it took me a while. It was like, oh, it's the Inconceivable guy. I don't remember his name, but the Inconceivable guy is how I remember him from The Princess Bride. Sounds exactly like that. Who is he? Let me know in the comments, please. He comes up to the assembly and everyone gets really quiet. He's like, hey, you know, school's about to end, but, you know, school is very important throughout all of the year. So how about you do some fun science-based or academic-based stuff during the summertime? And I'm like, bro, I get it, you have to work constantly, but let them enjoy the time in which they have before they are forced to work, okay? You're ruining these children. I get it, you gotta instill some responsibility in them early, but I feel like it's like you gotta ease it up. No kid wants to do homework during the summer. I never did. I always procrastinated until like the day before school. If I was enrolled in a class, I was like, hey, you gotta do some summer homework, which wasn't very often, but it was mostly English. I was like, hey, you gotta read this book. And so I would just finish it the day before school started. So that's what's happening. But anyway, Max crashes this assembly, which is really boring. And he crashes, and it makes him super popular, and he does some, like, embarrassing stuff, which he's able to roll into looking really cool. And I'm like, okay, that's cool that you were able to do that and get the attention of everybody, and now everybody's talking about you, even though before everybody didn't like you, or so there are some people who liked you, but mostly people saw you as a loser, and you were being picked on and bullied by the other people who are so popular. But what are they doing now? He gets to talk to Roxanne, and there's this party that she invites him to, and he's like, oh my goodness, I get to be this party. Oh yeah. But also, I think it's the valedictorian. She was speaking, and she's also the friend of Roxanne, and she's like, oh, you should go invite him to the party because obviously she likes him. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point, valedictorian. Roxanne really likes Max. And, you know, they're being really awkward, and it's cute. And then they both get excited to be at the party. Goofy is like, hey, we're gonna go on a road trip. And Max is like, no, having grown up a little, the first time I watched this movie, actually, I've only seen this movie once before. I watched it 10 years ago when I was like a teenager. So I related to Max a lot. I was like, man, I don't want to be on a road trip with my parents. But now I'm 24. And now I'm like, okay, I understand why Max would be so hesitant to be on this road trip. I also understand why Goofy is doing it too. Goofy is having his own problems. Max is not really caring about what what's happening with Goofy. Max doesn't want to be his father. Goofy is reminiscing on this time that he had with his father, which makes me think maybe Goofy's father died recently. It's not shown in the movie that any of that happened, but I'm just thinking the type of pain that you have to be experiencing in order to be like, well, I want to hang out with my son. And it's also how the movie presents it, mostly, is how he's getting labeled as this problem child by his friend Pete, by Goofy's friend Pete. And I don't like Pete. Pete's like, oh, you gotta have your son under your thumb. You gotta keep him under there. I'm like, no, you shouldn't do that. That's very abusive. Don't do that, please. And the way that Pete calls PJ, which is Max's friend, come here. And he just like is at attention military style. I'm like, uh-oh, what would happen if you got here any slower? That's my question. And behind closed doors. That's like my first thought. I'm like, nobody acts this way unless they're threatened by like some sort of external force, really. And being that young, it's going to be your dad, really. And the pressures of school, all that fun jazz. Also, Goofy isn't standing up for himself. Pete's like, oh, you're doing it all wrong. You're raising your child all wrong. And he gets these ideas into Goofy's head, which leads Goofy to think, oh, well, I gotta get my son on a road trip. We gotta hang out. We're gonna go fishing, because that's what me and my dad did. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I hope your dad's alive, Goofy, because you talk about your dad constantly. And it would be such a downer if his dad's death was mentioned. But that is what I suspect. They go on this road trip. Hilarity ensues. They are hesitant to get closer to each other, mainly because Max is really closed off, and we got Goofy, he's attempting multiple times to get close to his son. And also, Goofy drives like a maniac. I love this fluid animation because it just shows all the energy. There's so much energy in Goofy's driving. He's just like going around cars in like a cartoonish way, and it's a cartoon, so it's great to be dramatic and exaggeratory in the way in which you draw things. I find it hilarious, and also I love the fluid animation. I love the colors. They're so well done. I like the overall bright nature of all the shots going on, and also when it's dark is because there's either a moment of where there's some tension going on between Max and Goofy, or some tension going on between someone else, any pairing of any kind in this movie. It's mostly main characters are Max and Goofy. Max is really the core of all the relationships. So if there's any badness happening in a relationship, or rockiness rather, then that scene's going to get a little bit darker. But also, I just find that it's really cool. I find that it's really cool to see all the designs. Every single background is beautiful, and I love the animation, and I already mentioned it, but I need to mention it some more because I appreciate this animation. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate it as much because I was like, oh yeah, there's just like stuff that's being animated still, blah blah blah, whatever. Computer generated animation stuff was, computer helped animation was happening. Now I just see everyone using Adobe Character Animator, creating puppets, moving the puppets with the joints, and I'm like, you're not going to get the sameness. The fluidness is not going to be there in like the way you have to hand draw it back then. So it's like so creative and so fluid. Versus now it just feels like a robot. And now I'm really appreciating the Goofy movie for all the animation and all the effort and all the goodness that's in it now. There gets to a point where Goofy stands up to Pete. There's also a point where Goofy is asleep and they're bonding. This is after they have like a moment bonding, and Bigfoot's on their car, and they're having like weird, wacky adventures that wouldn't normally happen in a road trip. You just drive from point A to point B, but they're encountering like monsters and stuff, and they're like paragliding, all that fun jazz. They're going off of waterfalls. They're doing all this fun jazz. The waterfall happens after what I'm talking about, though. Max is like, I'm gonna change the map. I have to go to LA because I promised Roxanne, hey, I'm gonna be on Powerline, which is like a Prince parody. I'm gonna be on Powerline and be dancing with them. And so he has to change the map from like being in Idaho to being in California. And there's also this junction, right? Because Pete tells Goofy what happens because Pete overheard. Frickin' Max couldn't keep his mouth shut talking to PJ about it. Oh, they arrive. And then Pete's like, hey, your son, you shouldn't trust him. I also think Max should have just told the truth from the very beginning. I get like the teenage desire not to. There's a cat fight over that I just got distracted by. But also, yeah, the teenage desire not to tell your parents about things. And then he opens up and Goofy's like, oh, I get it, you're in love, I get it. I've been there, so let me help you get there, right? There's just so much to this movie. As I explain it, I'm just unpacking everything about this movie. There's just so much. There's so much to it. Oh, that's my long guy. I just love this movie. I enjoy it a lot. There's just so much love. Just go watch the Goofy movie again. I really like the central core. It's about like father bonding with a teenager son, and it's a really good movie. I already talked about color. I'm gonna let this guy do his thing. So I gotta give this movie, it's a solid 8. I talked about it, so it's great. It's above an 8. It's a 9 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one on the platform. Like that $20 Dinos, patreon.com/ASEPresents. 1 review for 1 month. Supports Daily Grinders, so go into this link tree. Support and until next time, mint salad sauce. See you later, my salad croutons, big bits. Adios.